Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Today, our group will be presenting our BIO661 field trip project entitled Social Signals in Captivity, Analysing Animal Behaviour and Communication in Zoo Environments. Our study focused on the captive cheetal deer or axis at Zoo Negara. Cheetal deer are highly social animals that naturally live in herds and rely on social interactions, communications, and vigilance for survival. However, captivity exposes them to different environmental conditions such as limited space and frequent human presence, which may influence their natural behaviors.
Aggression and agonistic behavior are natural evolutionary mechanisms used by animals to adapt to conflict situations over resources, as noted by Nelson and Treno. When these animals are placed in ex situ conservation facilities, their baseline wild behavior often undergoes significant modification due to spatial constraint and human presence. Therefore, the primary objective of our study are to construct a comprehensive ethogram of the Zoo Negara herd, classify their behavior into natural and altered states, and identify potential behavioral indicators of stress or environmental suppression. To achieve our objective, our group utilized focal animal sampling and instantaneous scan sampling technique on site at the Zoo Negara enclosure. First, a preliminary observation was carried out to familiarize ourselves with the herd demographic structure. We then observed the deer over a prolonged duration, tracking their specific motor parameters at fixed 30 minutes interval, including minute 0 for baseline data, followed by minute 30, minute 60, and minute 90 phases. Parameters such as locomotion, spatial distribution, and social interaction were carefully logged on our standardized sheet while simultaneously monitoring external anthropogenic variables like visitor density and zookeeper feeding schedule.
As shown in the video, several cheetah are gathered around the feeding tray and are licking its surface. This behavior suggests that they are consuming the remaining feed residue after most of the food has been eaten. The residue may consist of pellet dust, small food fragments, mineral supplements, or molasses left on the tray. By licking the tray, the deer maximize their nutrient intake and reduce food wastage. In Zoo Negara, cheetah are provided with a balanced diet by animal keepers. Their diet typically includes fresh grasses, herbivore pellets, hay, leaves, and occasionally fruits and vegetables. Food is offered at regular times in feeding trays or designated feeding areas, ensuring the deer receive adequate nutrition throughout the year. Because food is readily available, the cheetah do not need to spend much time searching for it, allowing them to conserve energy. In contrast, while cheetah exhibit different feeding behavior, they spend a large part of the day foraging for food across forests and grasslands. Cheetah are primarily grazers, feeding mainly on grasses, but they also browse on leaf, young shoots, flowers, fruits, and fallen seeds, depending on seasonal availability. During dry seasons, when fresh grass is scarce, they increase their intake of leaves and browse to meet their nutritional needs. Overall, although the food sources differ between captive and wild environments, the feeding goal remains the same, which is to obtain sufficient nutrients for survival, growth, and reproduction. The licking behavior observed in this video demonstrates how captive cheetah efficiently consume any remaining nutrients provided by their keepers, while wild cheetah rely on natural foraging to satisfy their dietary requirements.
Now, I will continue with vigilance behavior. Vigilance behavior refers to the action animal performs to detect potential threats while carrying out daily activities such as feeding or resting. This behavior is important because it helps protect both individual deer and the entire herd. During our observations, vigilance behavior was recorded several times. At 11:38 a.m. and 12:23 p.m., the cheetal deer reacted to sudden unfamiliar sounds by lifting their heads, pointing their ears forward, and some displayed alarm signals such as tail raising, foot stomping, and warning vocalization. These responses demonstrate cooperative vigilance, where the herd work together to detect danger.
In the wild, this vigilance behavior is even more critical for survival. Cheetah deer face predators, so remaining alert allows them to detect danger early and warn other members of the herd. Cooperative vigilance reduces the risk of predation, as individuals that turn scanning their surroundings while others continue feeding or resting.
Overall, all vigilance behavior were classified as natural behaviors, showing that the captive cheetah deer have retained their natural anti-predator instincts and continue to display species-specific behaviors in the zoo environment.
Now, I will continue with resting behavior. Resting behavior refers to the period when animals reduce their activity to conserve energy while remaining away of their surroundings. For cheetah deer, resting is essential for recovering after feeding, rumination, and maintaining overall health. During our observation in the zoo, the cheetah were frequently seen resting together on the ground, usually after feeding. They display relaxed body posture with their legs down beneath their bodies, while occasionally twitching their ears and lifting their head to monitor surrounding sound. Some individuals also rest close together, demonstrating affiliative group resting, which help maintaining social cohesion within the herd. Even while resting, the deer remaining alert to environmental changes, showing that they were relaxed but still aware of potential disturbance. In contrast, wild cheetah also race in a group, but they are generally more cautious due to the constant risk of predators. They also choose shade area with good visibility, allow them to detect approaching predator quickly. While some individual race, others remain vigilant by scanning the surrounding, ensuring that the entire herd is protected. This shared vigilance enables the group to balance energy conservation with predator detection. Overall, the resting behavior observed in the zoo closely resembles that of wild cheetah. Although the zoo environment provides a safer habitat with favored treat, the deer still exhibit natural resting posture, maintaining group cohesion and remaining moderately alert.
Now, I will focus on a crucial species typical social mechanism observed during our field trip, social grooming, which is scientifically termed allogrooming. During our on-site observation at Zoo Negara, we recorded frequent and highly synchronized bouts of mutual licking within the herd. This behavioral pattern was predominantly concentrated around the recipient dorsal surfaces, specifically the head, upper neck, and shoulder region. The interaction were peaceful, relaxed, and occurred mostly when the herd gathered under the shaded zone of the enclosure during the quiet afternoon hour. Critically analyze this, we must compare our zoo observation with wild behavior found in scientific literature. In their natural tropical forest habitat, while cheetah deer face immense environmental pressure from ectoparasites like ticks and biting flies. Because a deer cannot physically reach its own dorsal neck region, allogrooming serves a vital, literal survival function to control parasite loads and prevent disease transmission. Even though the captive environment at Zoo Negara is chemically managed and relatively free of heavy parasite, the instinctual drive to perform this hygienic routine remains completely intact within the herd as an evolutionary reflex. Furthermore, the social context between the two environments provide an insightful contrast. In the wild, cheetah deer exhibit a fluid fission-fusion group dynamic, where the herd constantly split and merge based on seasonal resources. However, at Zoo Negara, the herd exists as a fixed social grouping with restricted space. captive ungulates under severe environmental stress or social anxiety will rapidly suppress pro-social behavior like play and grooming. Therefore, the active and frequent display of allogrooming that we observe at the zoo act as a powerful mechanism to diffuse social friction and lower herd rates within a confined area. Ultimately, this serves as a direct, positive indicator that the herd successfully maintained its natural species-typical social cohesion and psychological welfare in an ex situ facility.
Communication and social behavior. In zoo negara, the cheetah are kept in a herd, allowing them to maintain their natural social structure. As seen in the video, the deer remain close to one another while feeding. This group behavior reduces competition and creates a calm environment where multiple individuals can feed together. Some deer wait patiently for space at the feeding tray, while others continue eating, demonstrating social tolerance within the herd. Cheetah communicate using body language, vocalizations, and scent. They use ear movements, tail positions, and body posture to express alertness or relaxation. If one deer detects something unusual, it may raise its head, point its ears forward, or stamp its feet to alert the rest of the herd. They also produce alarm calls to warn other deer of potential danger. During the breeding season, males communicate through vocal calls and display of their antlers to establish dominance and attract females. In the wild, cheetah display similar social behaviors but with greater vigilance. Herds often consist of females, fawns, and young males, while mature males may join during the breeding season. Living in groups increases the chances of detecting predators because many individuals are watching their surroundings at the same time. When one deer senses danger and gives an alarm signal, the rest of the herd quickly becomes alert and may flee together.
In conclusion, our observation show that the captive cheetah deer at Sunagara still display many natural behavior, including feeding, vigilance, resting, grooming, and social communication. Although they live in a protected environment, they continue to maintain their natural instinct and strong social relationship within the herd. By comparing the behavior of captive and wild cheetah, we found that most behavior remains similar, with only slight difference due to the zoo environment. This study also highlights the importance of observing animal behavior to better understanding their welfare and ensure they are cared for appropriately in captivity. So thank you for your attention. We hope you enjoy our presentation.